Hi, Ian and Bill. This is Mike. Hey, Mike, great to have you here. I really appreciate you guys for guiding us. Thank you for that. My question is how to conquer fear so one can invest freely. Okay, good question. Good question. This is kind of for anybody out there who's maybe new to investing or new to crypto. Bill, so any tips on how somebody can conquer fear when it comes to investing?
Yes, I've got a few. So the first thing you have to do is get comfortable being uncomfortable. Okay. So if you're going to buy when everyone else is selling, it's not going to feel good. It isn't. And when you're selling, when everybody's talking about Lambos, you're going to feel like an idiot for getting off the train. Now, here's an exercise that I recommend. I won't do it on camera for developing this mechanism. So sit in your favorite chair, get comfortable, and then stand up fast. And then sit back down and get comfortable, and then stand up fast. And start to train your brain to go from comfortable to uncomfortable, because every time you do a trade, you're going to experience that. You're also going to experience it when you watch the market fluctuate, because as you may have noticed, crypto is all over the place. The second tip is you're going to have to learn how to breathe. Okay? You know, inhale through your nose for 8 seconds, exhale through your mouth for 8 seconds. Try that for a set of 3. Okay? Yes, I know. I know what that sounds like. But I have to do it so I can be clear for you. I have to do it when I think about the coronavirus. Somebody asked about that earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
So comfortable, uncomfortable, and breathe.
Yeah, I mean, definitely very good tips to kind of work on your psyche and your mental thought process. Excuse me. I mean, so from my perspective, okay, so I think when it comes to investing, you can know what to do, but as the person in the question is asking, sometimes you can have fear when it comes to pulling the trigger on an investment, on a trade, and I think really you just have to get more confident. And I know that may seem kind of hard to say because it's easy to just tell somebody be confident, and I definitely do realize that. But the only way to get confident, not just in trading but for anything in life, is from experience. So you have to get almost in a way it's kind of situational confidence. But eventually that situational confidence becomes confidence you can leverage in all things you do in life. And I think the best way to get confidence you can apply in all areas in life is to get confident in your thought process and problem solving. So what do I mean by that? I mean you have to get experience putting yourself out there. So basically, I mean, taking a problem, any problem in life, thinking about different solutions, picking a solution, then applying that solution, and then being okay with the results, whether it's good or bad. And then you just keep on repeating that cycle numerous times, and after a while, you'll get confident in your problem solving abilities. And once you get confident with your problem solving abilities, then no matter what problem comes to you, whether it's a unknown problem or a problem you've seen before, you're confident in how you solve problems. So that gives you confidence. I know it's kind of almost like an abstract concept, or it's almost kind of like a meta. It's kind of like the game inside the game. But at least for me, because people have definitely asked me that, Ian, why are you always confident in everything you do? Almost to a point where people think I'm delusional sometimes. And I think it's because I've had to practice thinking on my own so many times that I have confidence in my thought process and in how I take in new unknown information and how I solve it. I think that's also maybe why I'm an engineer. That maybe that's kind of why, but I would say most engineers definitely do have a problem solving brain where they like taking unknown concepts and solving them. So I can say in terms of getting past your fear, fail. Go out there, fail, practice, and after a while, you get confident from that. So the only way to get confidence is by doing. So yes, you can try to avoid doing things, maybe by paper trading or whatever, but at the end of the day, you have to have accountability on yourself. You have to have onus on yourself. Because me, myself, when it comes to investing, since 2017, like Token Metrics and everything we're doing was something I just created on my own and from talking to other experts in the field and doing my research. And I knew that, okay, this is something that I think would work for me. And I'm comfortable putting myself out here on these live streams with my spreadsheet and now the platform. Because obviously, I don't come from a traditional Wall Street background. I mean, I was a computer engineer who got into crypto and is now doing investing and is now trying to become an investment advisor. I mean, so I didn't, I'm in a way, I'm kind of cut from a different cloth. I didn't follow the traditional financial path for being or rather working towards becoming an investment advisor. However, I still have confidence in my abilities based on the work I've done, based on things I've been trying out and experimenting, because I think you also have to take this into account. Nobody's perfect. And you also have to believe that nobody is special. I know that may seem counterintuitive, but you can't really put anybody on a pedestal, if that makes any sense. So take the best investor in the world, Warren Buffett, Jeff. I would say let's take Warren Buffett for example. If you think Warren Buffett is some god, some investing god, then you'll never really have faith in yourself, in your own investment abilities, if that makes sense. And this is why whenever people say, Ian, you're amazing or whatever, I try not to, like, I don't like it when people blindly follow me, for example, because they're basically copying out and not doing their own research. That's why I have the phrase, always do your own research, because that forces you to build up the confidence to pull the trigger on your own. Because especially with projects where I turned out being wrong and people come back and say, hey, Ian, we lost money in this project because of you. That tells me, okay, this person didn't build up the confidence to take accountability for their own investments. They're just blindly following somebody else. And as long as they keep on doing that, they'll be tied to that person. They won't really build up their own fortitude, their own strength to be fearless and pull the trigger. I mean, because when I joined the space, there have been some times when we were the first people to pull the trigger on a project before anybody else did. I mean, so for example, we were one of the first, if not, I think we were one of the first early investors in Loom. I think the only two groups that invested in Loom. And with some of the projects, we were the first check in. So we were not there waiting for somebody else to co-sign or give us the green light on this investment. So for example, with Wabi ended up being over 100x investment. We didn't wait for Wall Street investors or Andreessen Horowitz or Coinbase to invest. We were the first investors to pull the trigger. And pardon my French, but sometimes you just have to have like balls of steel and say, you know what? Like, we're not going to wait for anybody else because we believe in our own research. We've done our own research and we're confident in this process. We're going to take the risk and wait for everybody else to get on board and to realize that this is the next big investment. So yes, sometimes we're wrong. Sometimes we end up with Sparksters and other bad projects, but sometimes we end up with big wins and we end up getting rewarded for being early. So for example, with Wabi, that's kind of what happened. So I think that just comes from just pure confidence from applying and trying out your own thought process. I know I've kind of been all over the place, but one book I do recommend, this isn't really an investing book. This is more a book on helping with your inner belief system and how you talk to yourself. It's called Psycho-Cybernetics. This is probably the best self-help book out there. This book is known as being the book that founded the entire self-help industry. So I definitely recommend this book. It's by Dr. Maxwell Maltz. And this book shows you how to tap into your subconscious mind and really reprogram yourself. Now, why this book is so special? Because it's different from those other self-help books like The Law of Attraction or The Secret or whatever that are kind of out there with their own woo-woo stuff. This is a book based purely in science. So it's really how to reprogram your brain using science, things that have been fundamentally tested. And this book comes from, I know I'm kind of getting off topic, but this is pretty crucial. This book, so Dr. Maxwell Maltz was a surgeon, and he realized that people would come into his office or his clinic to have surgery because they had limiting beliefs. They had anxiety, they're self-conscious about their body, their looks, whatever. And as a surgeon, his job was to do surgery on them to fix them, right? To fix whatever they thought was wrong with them, whether it was their face or they had an accident and had an issue with whatever part of their body. And he realized that even when he fixed the physical problems they thought they had, months later, years later, the people still had those same limiting beliefs. They still had the same self-doubt. They still had that same anxiety. And he realized that as a surgeon, the issue wasn't physical. It was a mental issue. So he did lots of research into this field, and he realized that to really fix somebody's belief system, whether it's with fear or being self-conscious, you have to fix and reprogram their brain. So this is a great book. I read this back when I was in college and undergrad, and it's one of the books that really changed my life. I mean, so for example, people have fear of public speaking, for example, right? And if you want to reprogram yourself, the book takes you through examples using science. So it's not like some quack out there just teaching some random stuff. This is scientific stuff that shows you how to really reprogram your brain. So for example, there's enough academic literature saying that if you visualize something before doing it, you become more successful. So for example, if you have a fear of public speaking, if you've just practiced visualizing yourself publicly speaking somewhere, like let's say you imagine you're speaking at a conference. If you just do that every single day for like half an hour for like a week or 2 weeks, you'll realize scientifically that your fear of public speaking will subside. So it goes through concepts using techniques like that. So it's a book I definitely highly recommend. So I'm sure for anybody out there who has a fear, maybe in investing or trading, one way that book would probably tell you is maybe just visualize trading, maybe just for half an hour. So in a way, it's kind of like meditating, right? But I don't really blindly believe in meditation, but I do believe in the scientific way of meditating. So in a way, you could say I do believe in meditation, but with the caveat being that it has to be scientific. But anyway, neither here nor there, I do believe in visualizations. And so I would say visualize making the perfect trade, visualize investing, right? So if you're there and you're nervous about pulling the trigger on Binance or an exchange, maybe for a half hour for the course of 7 days straight, close your eyes and just visualize making a trade or visualize doing a research, right? Just go through that process. And first of all, read that book. There's an audiobook as well. And I think just by going through those concepts, you'll become less fearful when it comes to investing in crypto. Now, I know it's kind of all over the place, but I think that was definitely a good question, a question that lots of people do ask. But yeah, so let us know. Have we missed anything? Anybody else with any tips or strategies they use to make themselves less fearful when it comes to investing or trading in crypto? Please do share down below.